10 seconds remaining.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Chongqing Major China Qualifiers. We got
remaining.
Team Root versus PSG.LGD, 2-game series for Group A. And this is game number 2. PSG.LGD taking game 1 pretty convincingly. I don't think Team Root looked that bad. It was just that PSG.LGD were kind of in the driver's seat the entire time. So we'll see. Maybe a slightly different draft this time around. PA might not be making it through into the pool. Team Root do have the first pick overall here, so it might be PSG.LGD who has to ban it. I would imagine that LGD probably going to be banning out the Magnus again as well, so keep an eye out for that. And what else did we have in the previous game as far as bans went? So somebody's definitely banning Grimstroke, I would imagine. Wisp also got banned. What, Grimstroke, Dazzle, Wisp were Root's bans, and Magnus, Axe, Rubik were PSG.LGD's bans. I don't know if Rubik's going to get banned again here, so alright, PSG.LGD get rid of the Dazzle. Team Root probably don't want to ban the Grimstroke, so they just ban Kunkka. The way that this is going, it's kind of a game of ban chicken, and I get the feeling that we're actually going to end up with multiple heroes that both teams would kind of want banned, making it through into the pool. Like, it could end up being that PA and Grimstroke are both available, and then Root take the PA, and PSG.LGD use that to force the Grimstroke through, or maybe they can like force Rubik through for themselves. It would even be interesting if Axe and Grimstroke were both unbanned potentially. Alright, PSG.LGD, they're not going to mess around with the PA, but now which do they ban out of Magnus and Axe? And there's still the Sand King in the pool as well, so offlane pool is looking pretty wide open. That's good news. But Root, where does their first pick priority lie?
10 seconds remaining.
What do they want? They're definitely not banning Magnus. So they ban the Wisp. Okay, Grim's still there, Magnus still there. PSG.LGD, which one are they more willing to let them have? This might be a situation where you let them have the Magnus and then you just have some kind of strategy to deal with it. They do have a little bit of reserve time left to think about it. They could let them have the Magnus and then they could pick Rubik. Like, if they ban Grimstroke here, then I think Root will take Magnus and then LGD can take Rubik +1. If PSG.LGD consider Rubik to be a counter to Mag. I don't know if it necessarily is, but it might be if you have FY on your team. It's going to make Team Root a little bit more afraid of jumping in with that RP. Though I don't think the Magnus at the moment is so much about the RP as it just is about the Empower on a lot of these shiny new melee carries that everybody has been loving so much. So I think that's what's going to happen here, but we'll see. They could also try and force the Grimstroke through. They could like take the Grimstroke themselves. So they ban like Rubik or Axe, give away Magnus, take Grimstroke.
Radiant team.
No, okay, never mind. They're just gonna ban Mag. Okay, so Team Root, do they want the Grim? I imagine that they do. Yeah, Grimstroke easy does it. So now they can easily run a Grimstroke Centaur or a Grimstroke Sand King lane. This guy is really good in 2v2 lanes. He's really good in tri-lane versus tri-lanes. His abilities all still, even despite some nerfs, probably all still feel a little bit overtuned for level 1 abilities. And PSG.LGD is just going to take the Sand King and the Nature's Prophet. Interesting. Okay. So, strong laning hero. Not clear if it's going to be played support or core just yet. LGD did have quite a lot of success with just grouping up and pushing with their supports in the previous game. So, this could be a little bit more of that, though. Team Root already going to have some pretty good deep push. And yeah, Team Root just going to grab themselves the Grimstroke Centaur. Okay, okay. So, the Nature's Prophet, the only real spanner in the works so far. Rubik hasn't been picked, but looks like maybe he's not even going to be a priority here. I don't know why. I don't quite know why LGD banned it in the previous game, but it looks like they I'm really too worried about it in this situation. Alright. So probably not much point in banning Axe anymore for either team. They've both already got their offlaners. So mid lane heroes probably coming up as the priority. Monkey King getting banned. Kunkka's been popular. Could be a good option for either team. If PSG.LGD really want to have this super pushy kind of strategy, then the DK is still kind of an option. Both teams have pretty good Sunstrike setup, so Invoker on the cards. And yeah, Monkey King banned. And just given that it's super drafting and super playing mid, I think it might always be worth it to ban Dragon Knight. I think super, not that there's that much you can do on Dragon Knight to show that you're a super skilled Dragon Knight player, but it's definitely a comfort pick for super more than anything. Remaining. So I think, yeah, kind of worth it to ban it like this.
5 seconds remaining.
And DK does win some mid lane matchups. Pretty much only against like weak laners, but still. Like, I think he does pretty well against Storm. Somewhat paradoxically, but the early few levels are fine. Storm can't really harass you. And oh, Rubik's still going to end up being banned. Interesting. I wonder if it might be core Nature's Prophet from PSG.LGD. Are they just going to try and win this super fast? The Slark ban would... I don't know what the Slark ban suggests, actually. Because on the one hand, Slark is good against both flavors of Nature's Prophet. But on the other hand, Slark is not very good against 5-man strats. So I think if you're PSG.LGD, you might just... if you're going for like a super all-in 5-man strategy with like a Lycan Nature's Prophet or something, I think you might just leave the Slark in the pool. And if Root pick it, then you're just going to run them over that little bit faster. But I guess they're still worried about it. For them, in terms of 5-man carries, there's still a Luna, though I don't know if you really want to be running the Luna into the Centaur Grimstroke lane. That sounds pretty atrocious. Jug is still there. Jug actually does sound pretty good against that setup, just being able to spin the Inkswell every single time.
Radiant team pick.
And yeah, it does look like they're going to be playing this pretty pushy. PSG.LGD, they got places to be, you know, they got lunch to have. They want to win this fast, apparently. Could also just be that they think they're the better team, so they can just play something a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive, and win as a result.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, so if you're Team Root, you've already got decent D-push from the Grimstroke. If you feel like you really need a ton more, they could pick like a Winter Wyvern as their other support. The other hero that's been popular in a lot of the other qualifiers that we haven't been seeing here at all, that those two are Brewmaster and Tusk. To me, it's really surprising that neither one of those two heroes is really seeing a whole lot of play. There's still room in this PSG.LGD lineup as well to change tack. Like, they could still go for Medusa here. Their heroes so far are decent with Medusa. They would be leaving the Nature's Prophet part of the lineup behind a little bit, but like Venge is good with Dusa, Sand King's decent enough with Medusa. The Dusa, I don't know how good it is against Naga though. So what, you deal with the illusions. It's kind of this old like Dusa versus illusions setup, right? Where you can build an Ags and your ult is pretty good against illusions, but at the same time Naga Siren can just buy a Diffusal Blade. I mean, the standard build now feels like Diffusal Blade Manta style, and that Mana Burn is going to shred Medusa. So for LGD, I think it might be worth it to just keep on this aggressive timeline. I do like the Naga pick quite a bit for the song here. If PSG.LGD are going to be 5-manning and they want good push, that's going to mean that they have to sacrifice on teamfight. They shouldn't be able to have better push and better teamfight than Team Root. So the Naga song is going to be very useful. They can follow this up with a... Disruptor doesn't seem very good at the moment, but something along the lines of your Disruptor, ET, Jakiro. Any of those could be pretty good here as a follow-on from the Naga. And PSG.LGD, alright. They are going to be going for the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger, a very different hero from what she was previously, but attack speed's still going to be kind of useful for the Nature's Prophet and the Venge, I suppose. They've still got a bunch of aura stacking going on, early Roshan potential with the Treants, and Drow does do, what, I imagine quite a bit of damage now. I personally have not seen the new Drow at all. I know it got picked one game in EU, I think it was, but I haven't watched it, so I don't know. I don't know how this new Drow Ranger works. And I think that game was also like a Drow Wisp. Team Root just going to pick up all 3 of their cores, now grabbing Sniper. So good, well, good D-push hero, good high ground hero. Looks like they're just going to try and play for defending towers and playing for late game in this situation. So maybe just another D-push support coming in. I imagine that they ban the Winter Wyvern, right? Like Winter Wyvern or Jakiro seem like the biggest obstacles. No, actually, okay, still prioritizing the Shadow Shaman. Interesting, interesting. But PSG.LGD, what? So probably Prophet Venge supports Drow Ranger safe lane, Sand King off lane. They're just looking for their mid pick. I'm interested to see what they like against the Sniper
10 seconds remaining.
on mid. What actually
5
beats
seconds
Sniper
remaining.
mid? It's mostly stuff that can just get up in his face, right? Anything that can just run at him and kill him repeatedly is normally a pretty good option.
Radiant
So,
team pick.
yeah, well, like a Storm Spirit.
PSG.LGD.
Team Root. Okay, just going to be a Lich. Also fits in that kind of D-push teamfight support category. Not as much really utilizing... They're not super utilizing the Song of the Siren this game. I mean, they can maybe use the song to set up for a Grimstroke ulti and a Stomp or something, but it looks like it's mostly
10
going to
seconds
be
remaining.
just other forms of teamfight. They can buff the shit out of
5
this
seconds
Centaur, though. They can
remaining.
Frost Shield him and Ink Swell him and just send him into the fight. And for LGD, what do they like? Do they feel like they need more catch for the Sniper? That would be the big thing. I don't think... Does Ember even do well in lane against Sniper? That sounds pretty miserable.
Weaver.
Choose your
PSG.LGD,
hero.
just take the Weaver. So Weaver Drow is not nearly as much of a thing anymore, surely. And it's a maybe Weaver. Weaver versus Sniper mid, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a very common matchup. I do not know what to make of this. We do have the FY Nature's Prophet, so just to support Prophet. We shall have to see how this new Drow Ranger fares. It does seem like LGD, they're pretty squishy on the whole. So I think if this goes late, you do have to favor Team Root at least a little bit. I guess the Weaver is good from the perspective that he can kind of get into the back lines and find the Sniper. Should be able to put a lot of pressure on these two supports as well from Team Root, but this is an interesting one. Yep. Good luck, have fun.
Prepare for
Nature's
battle.
Prophet with the Blightstone. Oh, it's gonna be... Alright, so the Nature's Prophet is gonna go and try and combat the strength of the Grimstroke Centaur lane. He does do a lot of damage. That's for sure. Drow Ranger with triple slippers so far. Precision already picked up. So, how much attack speed does he have? 148. Getting 6 bonus attack speed. Oh boy. I mean, that's gonna help the Nature's Prophet at least a little bit, I guess. Naga just gonna be going for some fast Wraith Bands. Nothing too shocking here. Sniper also going for a shitload of Wraith
30
Bands.
seconds to battle.
We've got the Lich up here as well. DDC trying not to show just yet. TR making the exact same bounty rune play that they did in the previous game. Just bringing all 3 heroes up over the top. Oh, DDC, can he get over here in time? No. Looks like he's not actually interested in this. Yeah, taking quite a lot of damage.
The battle begins.
I don't know, he's got regen, but... And, oh, they do actually manage to, sneak in here with End. He sneaks around and he manages to grab the bounty, so okay. Team Root do actually manage to get 3 out of 4 there. Nicely done for them. And DDC. Pretty expensive to be using the Frost Shield early on. And, oh, FY already ready to go with this huge swarm of Treants. Not even going to let Yao get past into the lane. They're completely zoning them back. This is so much damage. This lane is strong, but FY is just zoning both of them all by himself. And now all Ame has to do is just control the wave. Oh my god. Oh no, FY aggroed the range creep. That was close. I think he was close to being out of range. Retaliate is the skill choice for the Centaur. He's actually hitting back just as hard. FY gonna pop the salve. Needs to be careful not to auto attack him lest he cancel it. He thought about it, but... Alright, so there's just a lot of damage being traded back and forth up here at top, but LGD seem to be doing pretty well in all 3 lanes so far. Bottom lane, how's it going? Oh, weird. Never End skilled the Riptide first. I don't think there's any point in skilling Riptide if you don't have the mirror image. I feel like most people have been skilling mirror image first and just using it to CS, but... Alright, a little bit of a different strategy from End. Yao has already chewed through all of his regen. And Grimstroke only has 1 Tango left. Oh my god, this is... I don't know, this seems like it was planned ahead of time. PSG.LGD knew that they were going to pick this Grimstroke Centaur lane, and they knew that this Nature's Prophet could apparently just trounce it. Who would have guessed? Mid lane, Weaver. While Shikuchi is on cooldown, just completely getting zoned out by Sniper. Yeah, I don't know. Is this a good matchup? Ooh, okay, so what? Maybe got given a sentry ward to try and get rid of high ground vision from the Sniper. Or at least get rid of his observer, but the observer is actually way back. So nice positioning there from Team Root. Ooh, there's a regenerate over here. DC, not going to be able to get it. We'll be able to cancel it off X Nova immediately. So nobody really gaining anything there. Alright, Yao's ferried out a bunch more regen, but he's still getting zoned out of this lane, and the Drow Ranger is just free farming. Ready with the Frost Arrows. Oh, Weaver almost dead. Shikuchi at mid, maybe he's going to be okay. Alright. He's doing okay in terms of CS, but forced to ferry out a bunch of salves. FY getting gone on. Yao looking for this kill. A couple more auto attacks needed. But FY looking like he's going to be okay. Could just TP back home, and then TP his way back out with the teleportation. Bottom lane, they're going on to Never End. Can't quite finish him off, though. Looks like he will end up being alright, but he doesn't have a salve. DDC's only got some tangos, so this Naga Siren going to stay low for a little while. And now maybe actually making the rotation up towards top. This is somewhat unexpected. The mid Weaver making a rotation at 3.5 minutes into the game. Victoria is chasing onto the Drow. He knows that he's dead. He's just going to try and get this kill, but it's too much damage from FY. As he lays in from the high ground. And now they're looking over towards Yao. He's got a TP to get out of here. So just going to soak a little bit more experience from the trees. They don't actually have any way to kill him. And Super getting absolute free farm on this Sniper over at the mid lane in the meantime. Gurm even just... Alright, is he waiting around for the gold for this salve? Victoria, 6, 7, 8. Alright, get it get it during the TP duration. So they're throwing so much regen into this lane, and Yao only has 7. He's got what? Sorry, not 7, 9 CS. Weaver's still just chilling here. I don't know what maybe is doing. Losing his mid tower apparently. Super's got a DD, and he's already level 5. They better hope that this Sand King gets a blink and is able to start shutting down the Sniper, because this is worrying. FY actually going down. maybe now revealing himself as they do manage to turn this around into a 1-for-1, but still, I don't think it's worth it if they're sitting 3 heroes up top like this. Nova chasing after DDC. Does Drow almost have 6? Nope, only level 4.5. Bottom lane, they're looking for Neverend. TP down from FY. He's found the real target. He's body blocking him with the Treants. Neverend just going to go for the other direction. DDC helping him out with the Frost Shield. FY tanking the tower now. Does manage to get it off of him. They're still looking for him. Burrow Strike's back off cooldown and just surrounding this Naga Siren. Early TP down here from FY. Can they get this tier 1 tower following it up? Maybe he just doesn't want to go anywhere near the middle lane, apparently. Super just still complete free farm. Gonna buy a 4th Wraith Band. Alright. Chalice, just enough mana for a Burrow Strike now. Who are they actually looking for? The Naga just trying to clear these creeps out. Frost Shield gonna give away the real one. There's now TP coming down from the Grimstroke. And the Sniper. FY just TPing out. Alright, they've managed to force the rotation out of Super. That's a little bit surprising. I guess given that the Weaver is rotating, he feels like he should also be moving around. But he's now being dragged away from mid lane, so maybe he's going to be able to go and grab a little bit more farm for himself. And FY instead just going to set up for mid. Chalice and X-Nova actually smoked. Where are they going to go? Line's being drawn towards top. They're going to look at Yao, but that's just FY running over there. Both of their stuns are on the bottom side of the map. X-Nova's smoke gets broken. He's got enough Observer Wards in his inventory that it might not be obvious that he just warded here. So that one might be able to stick around for a little bit longer. FY coming in with those Treant body blocks. Yao taking damage. Does have a TP. Stomping up onto the Treants. DVC with his TP and the Frost Shield able to save him, but... Got almost 6. Weaver at the mid lane getting brought down by Super. Does have this Sentry Ward sitting in the lane, so it's like nice and easy, just kind of auto-attacking him to death, and then got the Assassinate off. Yeah, I don't know about this. Is there anything else that they could have picked into this Sniper lane that's better than this Weaver? I really don't know about this Weaver pick. Grimstroke getting found out in the trees. Nova gets the minus armor onto him. Maybe running down here, staying out of the range of the Inkswell. They're looking for this dive. He tangos through. Chalice already on top of him, knows what's going on. Going to be looking for the Burrow Strike, maybe finding him. Grim still juking really nicely. He gained a lot of HP off of that salve. Can Victoria actually make it out of here? Yao dies up top. Victoria still getting chased. The Shrine is ready. Is that enough to save him? He's got the Inkswell again. He's still on the run. Going to turn around, trying for this stun. Does get it. But he's lost so much damn armor to the Swarm. As soon as maybe touches him, he's going to lose so much HP. Another Shikuchi soon. 2 seconds time. Nowhere for the Grimstroke to go. But ends up being a lot of time used, but also he used the salve and the shrine, so I don't know how good that actually ended up being for Team Root. Naga's just headed into the jungle. Gonna start farming up in there. But bad sign for Team Root that they are losing these towers so early, and Yao just died up top once again. They're just gonna have to rely on Super. I think that's the only play here. Sniper did manage to take out the mid tower. Yep, Super. Yeah, wait. Yeah, Super got the last hit on that one. All right, so Sniper's farmed. That's good. Everything else, bad. Everything else is not going very well. But Nature's Prophet has almost as much net worth as the Naga Siren. FY is just tanking up with his double bracer. Oh, they're looking for him here. FY, Sinister Gaze. Let's Sprout. Try for the TP out. Can he get it? Yes, he can. Did not manage to interrupt that TP, and away he goes. So they know that Super is up top now. They're just going to avoid him, I would imagine. Dry Ranger does have the level 6, hoping for some procs on the Ancients.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Alright. Yeah, I made no points in Gust here, just maxing out Frost Arrows and the Precision Aura. Popping that for the creep wave to push a little bit faster. They're running forward right past this Observer Ward. So Team Root know what's going on. can choose to take a team fight here. No mana really to speak of on the Lich, and the Naga running over here, but I think it's just to farm some neutrals and maybe take the Shrine. They're completely abandoning the bottom side of the map, just leaving the Grimstroke down there, push it out a little bit as he awkwardly misses the creep wave on the Stroke of Fate.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Normally,
attack.
the fact that the Stroke of Fate starts from your left side is almost completely irrelevant until you're standing right next to the creep wave and you miss. Then you feel dumb. But alright, we've got the bouncy runes spawning up. Oh. Alright, FYT being on top of Victoria, who's just forced to TP
Radiant's
himself
middle
out.
tower is under attack.
And PSG.LGD are looking for this bottom tier 2 tower. Team Root probably going to try and take out the top tier 1. Super's still just farming up here. He's going to go for a Mask of Madness as the build. Team Root, it's very much all about that build, that bend but don't break gameplay. They're going to have to keep giving away towers, but they have to try and slow it down as much as they can. And they got to get to the Blink Dagger on the Centaur and some items on the Naga Siren. Their lineup probably actually kicks in, really, once they get pushed back to the tier 3s. Super, not sitting in the lane. Yao does get the last hit on that tower, so a little bit more gold going his way. Maybe just building up some treads. Going to be going for a Deso after that. Maybe helping a Roshan attempt or something. A little ancient stack here as well for Ame to try and clear through. Yeah, they've really completely taken over this Radiant side of the map. Chalice with the Vanguard is going to be going for the Blink shortly after that. Yeah, for the most part, they just seem to be ignoring the Sniper. LGD farming across the whole map. 5k net worth advantage. Got a 2k experience lead. FYI, just going to be going for a Medallion here. And Team Root are smoked up. Got the Soulbind already skilled on the Grimstroke. Looking for something. They just still have some vision around here, so they know that there are heroes down here. They're looking towards Ame. Try and lock him down. They don't have a point in the ensnare, but they do have the song, so I don't think he'll be able to TP out. Sinister Gaze ends up interrupting. Ame just looking for this kill on DDC. Will be able to find it. I think he got a proc on that last hit. And down goes DDC. But still, very nice kill. Drow far and away the most farmed hero in the game at the moment. And it was Grimstroke who got the last hit, so a little bit more gold for him, working towards those arcanes. And Super now setting his sights on this bottom tier 1 tower. They just opt for the 20 damage, not going to go for a Midas or anything weird. And is going to be going for a Desolator up next. A little bit surprised not to see the Maelstrom on the Sniper, to be honest. This team does do decent physical damage, so this isn't too much of a surprise. Neverend making some nice stacking plays. Getting this farm up. Oop, PSG.LGD with an early Roshan. They've got the Medallion. They've got 3 points in the Wave of Terror. This is going down pretty quickly. They got the Trance to tank it up as well. Did they bring any salves or anything? FY is actually TPing, just threatening bottom, making this a little bit less obvious. Ooh, they've actually managed to sprout Roshan in. Nice. Avoiding a little bit of damage with that. FY now tanking. Alright, easy. Aegis for Ame. He's just going for a Yasha. Chalice is rotating towards mid. 1700 gold towards his Blink. Look towards his tier 1. Sinister Gaze into Chalice. A little bit of trouble. Gets the Burrow Strike through onto 2. Epicenter being channeled up. They've already lost DDC. Yao taking some big damage off of this. They've got the silence on the Sand King, but he's still quite tanky in the backline. Super isolated by the Sprout. But who's actually found who? FY pays for this with his life, but they will end up getting the Sniper. And that was the big target that they really needed to kill to continue this push. LGD do just split up though. And back to farm stations over in the Radiant jungle. X-Nova looking for this D-Ward. Will not be able to find it though. I guess realizing that there must have been some vision down here earlier when they ran at the Drow, but didn't find the right spot. the fact that the Naga Siren can't contribute at all to these fights is really a pretty big problem for Team Root. Especially since LGD are just 5-manning so heavily. Oh. FY coming in here, putting down some sneaky, impossible observer wards. Spots the courier, but not going to take any seriously at it. Wrath of Nature comes bouncing through. They found the sniper once again, maybe getting on top of him. Super, nothing that he can do. He throws down a shrapnel, but he's already dead, and with no sniper, there's not a whole lot of damage, so they just chase for more. DDC next on the chopping block, and PSG.LGD making the plays. FY now TPing down, gets the Sprout over under the Grimstroke. He's doing a little bit of damage, but looks like he's also going to end up falling. PSG.LGD. They are just dominating this game.
Radiant's middle tower
Team
is under
Root.
attack.
Again, I think they gain a little bit of strength once their backs are up against the high ground, but Centaur, even with all of that gold that he started getting after getting that last hit on the
Radiant's
tier 1
middle
tower up top,
has fallen.
just decided to go for the Vanguard. Didn't even pick up the Blink Dagger. He's maxed Retaliate here. Yeah, sure. Pressures top a little bit and just goes for the TP up, but the Centaur is just a body in this game. They don't even really have anybody else to stampede in. I guess he's just going to stampede forward and hopefully find a hoof stomp, but I just worry that he gets burrow struck or something like that, and down he goes. Oh.
Dire are
Team Root
scanning.
do smoke up. Scan completely reveals this from the
Dire's
Dire.
bottom tower is
It's like
under
LGD
attack.
suspect what's going on, and they're just going to back up. Might even be able to make a play here. Chalice over in the trees. They smoke up themselves. Chalice at the front. And they're coming up this high ground. Not in a great position. The two supports from Team Root did choose to stay on the low ground so that they could get this observer ward over here. But that immediately gets dewarded by Chalice. That sentry was only going to stick around for a tiny bit longer. The battle is for this top tier 1, but maybe is actually wrapping around. It's going to get spotted. They see that they don't actually have the Weaver here just yet. They go onto the Sand King, but he's quite tanky. He gets silenced up, but he manages to kill it off. Now he gets the Burrow Strike through. Onto 2. Yao on the front lines. That Vanguard not doing anything for him, and now maybe can connect on the other side of this fight. They've already brought down one more. Super just getting auto-attacked from outside of the song. Oh, almost brought down. Saved by the Frost Shield, will be able to escape with the TP, but PSG.LGD just swarming the top tier 1.
Radiant's top
They
tower
bring this
is under
down.
attack.
Nice easy team fight. Chalice very tanky on the front lines. PSG.LGD still have this Aegis for another minute,
Radiant's
so
top tower has
should
fallen.
just be able to continue the push. They've been so effective at just
Radiant's
finding
top
the sniper
tower
in the
is
back
under
lines
attack.
every single time. Frost Shield's gonna slow this push a little bit, but they've got the Desolator on the Weaver. So as soon as that Frost Shield is over, tier 2 tower just
Radiant's
100%
top tower
dead.
has fallen.
And at this point, PSG.LGD probably just one more Roshan away from thinking about the high ground. 11k net worth lead, heading towards 10k experience, and win probability really loving them at the moment, 94%. I still think the sniper is going to be strong with his backup against the high ground, but they have to protect him. This Naga still just doesn't really do anything. Still working on the Manta style. Doesn't even have the Diffusal Blade just yet. They found out DDC, just trying to get some D wards. But this Observer Ward from LGD has been so value. It set up the triple kill earlier, starting with the sniper. I think it may have... I don't think it scouted that smoke, but it may have seen a hero down here or something, and it gave them an idea that that smoke was going on. Neverend has been found over here in the trees. Alright, TP out. It's fine. FY's already got a Solar Crest. And every little move from LGD just saying that this is our map. What the hell are you doing? They're not letting Team Root outside of the base at all. The only farm that they're getting is really whatever arrives at their doorstep, because all 3 lanes are getting pushed at the moment. Drow just going to be going for an Aghanim Scepter. Sand King's picked up the Crimson Guard. Centaur's just going for the Crimson Guard, not even bothering with trying to go for the blink here. Not really sure if I agree with this build. But his lane just went so poorly. That support Nature's Prophet was a big bully. I think the best play that FY made was actually when he had 4 treants waiting as the creep wave arrived, and they just both stood here, and I mean this is gonna look like a stupid face, but they they both just stood here and hit them, and there was nothing that Team Root could do. I think Centaur had already skilled Retaliate, so they didn't have any threat of like, oh, I'm gonna run forward and Inkswell stomp you or anything. So, what is normally considered to be an extremely strong lane, the Grimstroke plus the Centaur, just got completely shut out. So now, what have they done for the rest of this game? Sniper's got his decimal. Okay. Good damage for Super. There's a double damage Weaver around here, though. And oh my god, they've already gotten a ward inside of the base. Nature's Prophet TPing in there. So PSG.LGD probably just going to come in and push it down at bottom. I was saying that the sniper is strong when he's got his back up against the high ground, but if there's a ward inside of your base, not the case. The Sand King's going to jump you, the Nature's Prophet's going to TP on top of you. It's not going to be a fun time. Yao thinks that he's tanky, but this double damage Weaver thinks otherwise. Frost Shield's going to help him for a little bit. The Stomp does connect, but now the Burrow Strike has found out the Sniper. They do Song to try and protect him. The Stampede also coming out as they bring down the Weaver. Team Root had everybody here waiting. Chalice going to take some auto attacks, but still quite tanky. TP coming in. FY actually in a pretty compromising position. Yao just auto attacking him down. Chalice finds a 2-man Burrow Strike. Ex-Nova with the swap out, but the Chain Frost is just bouncing everywhere. And PSG.LGD, they thought they could make a quick pickoff happen on the Centaur. But Team Root were in the right place. The Naga Siren finally contributing something with a good Song disengage. I mean, he did the same thing at top, protecting the Sniper. And they find a 4-for-1. Very nice. They didn't have the Drow Ranger in that fight. Ame was just off farming on the other side of the map. Roshan will be respawning in 1 minute, so both teams should be back to full strength by that time. The Naga almost has the important 2 items with the Manta and the Diffusal Blade. After that point, she is going to do pretty significant damage. Sniper just going for a BKB. FY going for a Hex. Gonna take him a little bit to be able to farm that. PSG.LGD back to the drawing board a little bit. If they'd gotten the Sniper pick off at bottom, they would have rotated the Drow in and tried to push the high ground, but Team Root playing much more grouped up. Just sending Yao down the lanes and everybody else kind of backing him up. DDC, as you can see, always chilling in range to be able to get the Frost Shield out. They get the swap away on the Centaur. Now the defensive abilities can't come quickly enough. They do still manage to get it out. They've actually got the Fear over onto FY. He TP'd into a pretty dangerous position. Yao still alive, but only for a tiny bit longer. FY does end up going down to 1-for-1 so far as they're chasing further, looking for the supports. Buyback from Yao. Chalice waiting over here. Spots the Yao TP in, and they will be able to isolate him. Super moving into position, but needs to be careful about what he does here. Revealing himself, he's just auto-attacking, but maybe still going to be fine. He gets the time-lapse off, and now FY TPing into the backlines. He's got the Solar Crest onto the Sniper, and this time around, End is not fast enough with the Song of the Siren to save him. The damage from Maybe is ridiculous with the Solar Crest. They bring down one more, the Lich getting caught outside of the base, and PSG.LGD, this was the opportunity that they've been looking for. Sniper might even be forced to buy back here. He does. With being used, Grimstroke also buying back, but PSG.LGD undeterred. Even with the triple buyback, they still want this tier 3, and they're just sticking around for it. A couple more auto attacks to take it. The Frost Shield, Chalice, nice Burrow Strike a little bit further away. Gets hit by the Phantom. Almost dead, and will actually end up falling. Super, if he dies at any point from now before his buyback's back up, that's going to be big trouble. But DDC managed to get the Sinister Gaze onto Ame. He turns around with the auto attacks, tries to bring down DDC, similar to bottom lane, but not going to get it. FY right back at it again with the split push, but ooh, LGD overstaying their welcome may actually come with a price, as Roshan has respawned and Never End is pinging this out. They head straight into the pit. They do take this pretty quickly. Got Super here on the Sniper, and this would make up so nicely for the fact that he bought back in that previous engagement. And this was supposed to be the tool that PSG.LGD had to be able to push up onto the high ground, but Instead, now it's just going to be another 5 minutes of farm for the Naga and another 5 minutes of farm for this sniper. I don't think Team Root are going to be making too many aggressive plays with this. If the sniper gets caught out outside of the base, he might still just die twice in a team fight, but it's going to give them a little bit more farm security. Can they afford a gem? That would be really nice at this point. Lich has got enough money, but I mean, DDC doesn't really have any other items to speak of. But they got to get these D wards. They can't afford these observers to just keep on scouting out everything that they're doing. And yeah, alright, did just opt to complete the Crimson Guard. So still no sign of a blink from him just yet. Okay, Ame's got enough money for his Aghanim Scepter in a second.
Dire's top
Okay,
tower
so you can
is
see
under
it when
attack.
marksmanship procs.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
Top tower gets denied by FY. I said that he was going to take a little bit to get this this Hex, but with the 30 damage talent and all the bonus attack speed, he's actually doing pretty nicely. And once he has that up, that's going to be a very big deal. But for Team Root, the game plan has not changed. Just kind of turtle up inside of their base. They don't want to let PSG.LGD have all of the bounties for free. Chalice baiting with the Sandstorm a little bit. Team Root coming out here all together. Naga in the front lines does have the song. Invis rune for the Weaver. They look over towards Never, and Chalice channeling up the epicenter. He jumps in, but they can burst the Naga. Then there's no saving song, and he's gone. They're also going to end up losing the Lich. The Chain Frost is bouncing everywhere, though. They've got a double, it looks like, from the Grimstroke ultimate. In the backline, Sniper's being brought down the first time. They buy back onto the Naga Siren, coming in to try and save him now. Super getting run at. They do get the net over onto the Weaver, but maybe just time lapses it out as the Stomp comes through. And now Ame arrives on the scene, doing tons of damage to the Centaur. Super needs to retreat up onto the high ground. FY's not going to let him go. He comes in with the Sprout. There is going to be a song. They look to surround the Drow Ranger, but can they actually take this fight? Who are they going to try and stomp? Yao's looking for it. He doesn't get it. The Burst Strike comes through. Super's just being auto-attacked by FY. Chalice now jumping into the base. Super's popped his BKB. He's just trying to man-fight his way out of this one, but the rest of LGD run up onto the high ground. They bring him down, and PSG.LGD now find their opportunity on the high ground once again. Quickly getting through the tier 3. Backdoor protection is enabled, but the creep wave is not too far away, and it's only the Naga trying for this defense. Come on, backdoor protection. Alright, backdoor protection down. Wait, it's still on. Okay, now it's gone. Swing over to mid. Sniper's still dead for 50 seconds. Ooh, the jump on that Naga Siren was so nice.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle
Frost Shield's gonna slow this a little bit, but PSG.LGD top tier 3 basically dead, mid tier 3 gone. Team Root one team fight away from losing this game. Sniper just desperately trying to get to a Force Staff and get his Hurricane Pike so he can get away from all of this jump that's happening. The Nature's Prophet just TPing right on top of him every single time. And Prophet almost has that Hex. Snipers, well, I mean, this BKB has not turned out to do a ton for him, unfortunately. Weaver's just going for a Daedalus. I guess you don't really need, I guess that's the other reason to go for the Deso this game, huh? You have a ton of attack speed from the Drow Aura, so it kind of tips the balance of itemization in favor of just going for raw damage items. Naga's going for a Butterfly. He's going to do a lot of damage if they can actually get on top of anybody, but with no Centaur Blink Dagger, I just don't know how Team Root actually lock anybody down or how they find these initiations. So instead, back to just defending the high ground.
Radiant's top shrine
Super does have, wait, does he have a Dragonlance now? No, he's actually, okay, he's not even getting the whole pike. He's just going to buy the Force Staff to try and get out of this Sprout.
Radiant's top shrine
He's getting the
fallen.
full Sprout-easy treatment and FY. Oh god. He's got as much net worth as this Sniper. He's got his Hex picked up. Why are you outside? Wait. Why are we outside of the base, Team Root? What are we doing here? We're going for X-Nova. Chalice is going to find a good opportunity here with the epicenter. He's channeling it up. They jump into the back lines. They found the sniper. Once again, he didn't pop the BKB. Super's almost gone. He's actually just going to die to the swarm. Maybe finishes him off. Pops the BKB. 3 already dead. DDC tries for the TP out. Does manage to get out, but it's a ready game. Good game called by Team Root. Super's out of there, he's disconnected, and LGD with that may have just claimed the #1 spot here, or pretty much locked themselves into the #1 spot for Group A as they do take the 2-0 over the next closest team. They were tied with 4 points apiece at the beginning of this series, but now LGD shooting out in front with 7 points. And just very clean execution. The FY Nature's Prophet completely dominant in the top lane, TP'd bottom, started turning that lane. Well, I don't think he turned it around, but starting winning that lane as well. The Naga Siren never really felt like she did anything this game. The song save was good a couple of times, but in terms of her damage and actually threatening anyone, it just wasn't there. And yeah, Team Root ended up feeling pretty passive in comparison to what LGD were able to accomplish. LGD just seemed to, both games, it just felt like they won the early games so hard, and then just 5-manned sort of to a win. And the Drow Ranger farming pretty nicely. How much damage did the Drow actually do? I mean, what, 15k hero damage? So even though it's changed a little bit, it does seem like if you go for this damage build on the Weaver, it's still kind of the same story with the Drought Aura. The Deso build looked like maybe it was just hitting so hard. Gotta remember that maybe got crushed in the lane, right? He didn't even bother laning against the sniper. He left the lane at level 3. He rotated around a whole bunch, made plays, and even though Sniper had absolute free farm, it just didn't really end up mattering all that much. He had good net worth at 10 minutes, but the other 4 among the top 5 were all PSG.LGD heroes. Alright, well, Team Root, they're not done just yet for today. They do have one more series to play. That is going to be up against Keen Gaming, so going to be a very important series for them if they're going to keep their hopes alive of moving out among the top 2 in this group. Keen still have 2 more series, and they've got 2 points so far. So if Keen actually 2-0, that might be the end of Root's hopes. Yeah, that would actually, if Keen 2-0'd, then Root would actually be, they would be out, I'm pretty sure. So very important series for them coming up. There are still other matches going on in this first round since LGD won this pretty quickly. So if you want to go watch Aster versus IG or RNG versus Vici, those are still going on. We're going to head to a short break. There shouldn't be too much of a delay because Keen aren't currently playing. So we'll be ready to go as soon as Team Root are willing to play. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying all of the coverage of the Chongqing Major. And I'll see you in just a couple of minutes for our next series.